Hello, welcome to my tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to create custom emblems in Crusader Kings for your coat of arms. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is load up Crusader Kings 3. As you can see here, I've got it just standard set up, right? I've got a play set. I would create a new play set personally with no mods in it. That's personally what I do. I've got it here called Creator Mod. You can easily create a playset by going to the top and pressing add new playset. For the purpose of this tutorial, might as well, right? We'll call it tutorial. Alright, now we're in it, we'll see that we've got nothing here. And the first step to making it is you're going to want to go to all installed mods on the side. It should still be here. If not, always Google it, if in doubt. Now you want to go to this button at the top called upload mod. It will come up with this menu. What you want to press is create a mod, and it will come up with the name, the version, and the directory. So generally I'm just going to call it tutorial coat of arms. That's it. Alright, so the version number, sometimes I would just put 1.0. The directory name, this is kind of important. I'm going to call it tutcot. It doesn't matter what you call it, it's perfectly fine as long as it's not, it will tell you if it's wrong, but you want to add at least one tag, so I'm going to go with alternate history. I recommend you do the same for this. Alright, it says once you press that, you press create. Once it's been created, I immediately go over to the playset that I'm about to edit, which will be, I need to switch it over. Don't forget that when you're on this menu, make sure to switch it over to something else. I'm switching it over to tutorial, so you want to make sure, because that sets it as the active playset. You go to that playset, which I'm in here. It will come up with this. Usually, if you haven't done anything else or done anything, you press add to current playset, and therefore you get it and it's all set up. If not, you go to add more and you just search for it. So, and you know, I don't need to do that because I've got it set up. But you know, you want to come down here, press the three dots, press show in folder, and now we're in here. You've got a single thing called descriptor. You don't need to worry about that. That just, so when you upload something to the workshop or something, it will say whatever you put in the descriptor. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we're not going into depth about that. Other tutorials will go more in depth. So go back into your Crusader Kings, right click on the game and find browse local files. Once you're in, you'll come up with this. Press game, and this is like the main, this is the folder structure that you'll be following. So go to your one and copy it, sort of. You want to go for GFX. This is the main thing we're editing. It's going to be images. This is where images will go. Under GFX on here, you've got a thing called coat of arms. That's what we'll be looking at. And emblems. We're looking for coloured emblems, sorry. So you're going to want to copy this kind of folder structure. So new folder coat underscore of, it has to be exact, by the way, for this. For the folder structure it has to be exact, but I'll show you later something that doesn't need to be. Okay. And you want to create your last folder, which is just going to be called coloured emblems. And because it's the American spelling, make sure you don't have a U, as that is a mistake I have made and is really annoying. Okay, now you're in here, you're going to see you've got nothing. If you take a notice at these, you'll notice that they are DDS files. DDS files you will not be able to edit as easily. There's lots of good alternatives to Photoshop if you don't want to pay for the license to get open DDSs, because they're not very easy to open. And the one I recommend is Photopea. I've got it in browser and stuff, so I'll open it with that. But you've also got GIMP and other things. Now you're in Photopea, you can see you've got your image here. I have no clue what I want to create, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to create a smiley face. Alright, but one thing for notice is, if you notice here, it's got about 4 colours: a dark blue, a light blue, a green, and a red. You have to stick to these colours for the sake of it. I know it's a bit, this is for if you're doing 3 colours in your logo. In order of the colours that it goes in is, you're going to want to make your main colour this blue here, which you can get by using a dropper like this, an ice dropper. And then you're going to want to go with this green being the second colour, and this pink being the third. It is very important that you do it in that order, because otherwise it will just be messed up and stuff. So just do it as I do it. Alright, so we're going to take that blue, we're going to just create a smiley face, we're going to do a blue here, a blue here. You don't have to do this with everything, I'm just doing this just to show you later on what it will look like. Green, and for the last bit, this red down here. And it's important that you get these colours exact, otherwise the game won't register it. And if you take that away, you've got it. So hopefully you open these DDSs with the thing, so you can just easily export it. Go down to export as, more, DDS. The settings are fine like this, you don't need to worry. This is what I use for other projects like Assetto Corsa, the BC3. It works just the same. I would recommend copying these settings, but you have to keep this width of 256 and this height of 256 exact. Right, now you press save. Alright, now you've got the file. Drag it and drop it into your CK3 files, okay? You want to drop it into your mod files. As you can see here, it's got a name. We're going to change that name, but make sure you keep the CE at the very beginning. I'm going to call it Smiley, like that. Okay, now you're going to want to create a new text document. Name it whatever you want, but I'm just going to call it emblem underscore type. Alright, now you're going to want to open it in either Notepad++, Microsoft Visual Code. I recommend Microsoft Visual Code, it's pretty good, but you know, if you're on a budget, you can still just use regular Notepad, which I'll do for this tutorial. As you can see, it's worth opening this file here in your CK3 files. Once you've got that open, it will come up in Notepad with all of this. You don't worry about this, but it is worth having a read of this if you're interested. But what I'm going to do is this. So you're going to want to reference this file here. I've called it CE underscore smiley. Make sure you get spelling right, that's very important. And make sure you put in .dds. That is very important. You're going to want to go equals, open that kind of bracket there, colors equals to, okay, so how many colors are in the image? For me in this scenario it's 3, because I selected, as you can see, 3 different colors. It's self-explanatory, right? You've got that. And then the next part is to follow this and go for the category it's going to be in. So I'm going to put it in the category. I'm just going to put it in as abstract, and that should literally be it. That's all you've got to put in there for that. All right, make sure that you've got everything named properly and that everything is in the right order. Okay, now you've got it to boot, you need to enter it as debug. To enter as debug, you can go down to game settings and just press debug, which is launch, or alternatively you press properties and launch options and you put in ~key debug, and it opens it always as debug. But if you want to keep achievements and stuff, just do as I'm going to do, open it from here. But make sure that your playset is the tutorial, okay? And now once you press launch, it should do it exactly as normal. If there's crashing, make sure to do a bit of debugging. It's very important that it should not crash at this stage. Okay, now you're in CK3. You're going to want to go new game and create ruler. You can do it alternatively and edit your dynasty on whatever you need to do. Okay, now you're just going to want to click on any country, for example, create your own, let's just say create your own adventure, why not? Go down to customize dynasty from scratch. You're going to want to go to emblems, and the one that I've put it in is abstract, so I'm going to look for that smiley face. Ah, here it is at the very bottom. As you can see, it's got 3 colours as I have put in the input. I can change them as I wish, and yeah, that's basically how you do it. So yeah, good luck.